Hi, welcome to Heritage Museums and Gardens. My name is Lutz. I am Director of Horticulture here at Heritage, and we're going to take a couple-minute tour and talk about what kinds of things are happening in the garden. Everybody's interested in hydrangeas. I'm standing in front of a hydrangea. This one is Hydrangea Paniculata. This happens to be the cultivar Limelight, and anybody that's been to Heritage probably will recognize it because it is at the entrance. It gets quite large and it has these enormous spikes of flowers, which you can still see from last summer. One of the questions I am asked very, very often is how to prune hydrangeas. And the first thing you have to find out is what species you have. This is Hydrangea Paniculata, as I mentioned, and this flowers on current year's growth. So when this plant starts to, these leaf buds will break and start to grow, they will develop flowers and they will flower this summer. Whereas the mop heads, the ones that are pink and blue that everybody has, actually flower on last year's growth. So if you cut them now, you're going to be removing this year's flowers. So typically I don't recommend that you prune Hydrangea macrophylla this time of the year. They need to be pruned usually right after they flower. Well, this is one of my favorite plants in the garden for multiple reasons. First of all, it's flowering. In addition to flowering at a time of the year when nothing else does, it also has fantastic fall color. And it can range, depending on which cultivar you're using, anywhere from nice yellow, clear yellow, through orange to deep red and even purple. This one happens to be Hemamelis X intermedia, and the variety is Ruby Glow. Okay, this is a crabapple. And you were just asking about what plants are doing this time of the year. Well, they're not doing a whole lot. They're prepping, getting ready for the spring. They went dormant, of course, in the fall, and prior to going dormant in the summer, late summer, early fall, they actually set the buds, which are then dormant all winter long, which will then begin to swell soon as we start getting some more warmer weather, and break and begin to grow. So I'm looking at this, and it actually, the buds are starting to look like they're swelling a little bit and possibly even showing a little bit of color. This happens to be, as I mentioned, a crabapple, and it will typically crabapples come into leaf prior to flowering. So the first buds that open will actually be leaf buds, and then the flower buds will open very soon after that. This holly, which is actually Ilex aquifolium, Ilex being the genus for holly, aquifolium saying that it is a European or English holly. So this holly is obviously dormant. You can see it's a little bit dark green, and in some places I've actually noticed it almost looks a little bit army green-ish. That brownishness that is in some of the leaves is actually burn. From the fact that we've had such cold temperatures at night. Zone 7 typically is about 5 degrees, I believe, and we've had temperatures below that. In fact, I think they've been below 0, so that means that this plant has probably been right on its limit, if not a little bit below. And because of that, we'll have some burn. And in some cases, it may actually drop some foliage because of the fact that we've had such cold temperatures. Yeah, I can see quite a bit of burn on it when I look at it. The berries are all gone. This is one of those plants that produces berries. This is a female. In this species, the male and female are on separate plants. So in order to have berries, you need to have a male plant somewhere close by, and we have one about 30 feet away. This one happens to be female, and therefore produces nice bright red berries. the berries have either fallen off or have been eaten by the birds. I see some on the ground, and I would imagine the birds have had some. They don't typically, it's not their number one plant, a berry, to consume. So typically they leave them till last. I have seen birds eat them after they've started to ferment on the plant, and the birds get a little tipsy from it. It's just kind of funny to watch. Okay, well, this is one of the Dexter Rhododendrons, which of course Heritage is quite well known for. These plants are set, or have set, their flower buds. They did that last summer and late summer, early fall. And these are flower buds. They hopefully are okay. As I mentioned, we've had some really cold temperatures. And Dexters are hardy here, but some of them are actually borderline. If we have really severe winters, then these flower buds, even though they look okay right now, will actually turn brown and drop off and not open. And that's because the flower buds are not as cold hardy as the leaf buds, which these are leaf buds at the base of the leaf axils. So, and typically the leaf buds are much hardier than the flower buds are.